of starting this recording, it is 11:48 p.m. and welcome to r/nosleep. So, we're going to be doing some scary stories again. We totally got sidetracked on that, and I just want to do more scary stories. I really enjoy them, and although they're not my most popular videos, I really enjoy them, and I want to bring them back, because watching them back, I really just do enjoy kind of hearing the stories, and I just like hearing about, like, conspiracy theories, and I'm very excited because we're doing today. I've been working at Disney, and I've got some stories to tell. So this is a very popular Reddit series where Bifla's disciple, which is the guy who made this this post, he reads about working at Disney and the kind of like these scary things behind it. So I'm going to do more of these, definitely. I want to do like a Reddit series because it's popular, and I personally love Reddit. I'm on it all the time. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories with Small World. Small World is a huge ride at Disney that people hate. So that's what I want to cover. But today we're going to be covering, I've been working at Disney and I've got some stories to tell. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Before we do, though, I want to point out, this is going to be a longer one. This is going to be a longer video. And it's not going to be something where I'm going to be doing a lot of talking. I'm going to be putting images on the screen, not so you can read, but just to kind of like, I don't know, add immersion or something like that. I guess I'll just see what arises. But this is going to be more of a podcast, to be honest with you, like a scary podcast. And yeah, so I hope you enjoy it. This is going to be a longer video. And so this would be best if you just go and do some like homework, or sit back and relax, or do some chores and just kind of listen to me speak, because we're going to be doing a lot of reading, and I'm going to be commenting on the reading as we go. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. Did you know that there's a second hidden Disneyland beneath the real one? In the early years of the park, old Walt himself decided he didn't like the characters traveling through theme parks where they didn't belong. He said it broke immersion. So we had an entire complex built beneath the Magic Kingdom. It mirrored every street, every ride, every land above it. The arrangement was designed to enable masked men to sneak around so well that your children never notice, leaving you happy to foot the bill. That's kind of creepy, honestly. Like, it sounds like a sewer system under Disney. Disney works very hard to keep its secrets. Here's another fun fact. Every cast member has to be on stage whenever they're in potential sight of park guests, even the janitors. That's where I come in. For the past 20 years, I've been cleaning up every type of mess that park visitors have the ability to make. If you come off the teacups and paint the ground with the clam chowder you just ate at Royal Street Veranda, at Royal Street Veranda, I'll be there. It's my job to whisk away the spunk with the precision of a diligent surgeon. It's a lot easier than you think, given the fact that we've been watching you from the very moment you tumbly got rumbly. There are cameras on you from the moment you Okay, one thing. The fact that there's cameras everywhere in Disneyland, I understand safety. I understand there's children there, you need to keep them safe. But the fact that there's cameras everywhere, that's a little unsettling, to be honest with you. And it kind of creeps me out, like, the fact that cameras are always on you. You're always being watched. Like, I'm glad that this person touched on that, because that's just very, very creepy. There are cameras on you from the moment you're shepherded into a parking spot in the morning until the tram doors you off after the fireworks at night. Things are fine if you know your place. I learned that pretty quickly. The first lesson sticks out in my mind. I'd been on the job 1 year, 7 months, and 13 days when a distraught-looking couple came to me and asked where they should go to inquire about a missing child. I was in the zone immediately, leading them straight to the office on Main Street while explaining how park employees would have their daughter escorted through the underground passages directly to their waiting arms. Upon arriving at the office, I opened the door, turned around, let them inside, then turned back. They were gone. I was searching furiously for them when the head of security emerged, looking grim. I had gotten maybe 3 words out when he cut me off. "Everything is fine, Sid. The parents have been reunited with their son." It was a daughter. That's right, their daughter. "Why don't you take some time off? A week's paid vacation would give you enough time to visit Orlando. Do you know park associates are entitled to complimentary park ticket to travel reimbursements?" "But it could be much longer than a week, Sid," he grumbled with a note of very grave finality. I took the plane tickets, but went to the beach instead. that there's a lot of things like that at Disney. There's a lot of moments where stuff like that happens, and like it's unexplainable. You can't explain how. And of course, these could be fake. I will say that these may not be true. Especially, I did read through it a little bit, and there are some parts where I doubt it a little bit, but it's still fun anyway. It never says it's true, but I personally enjoy this. I did very well for myself in the ensuing years. I cleaned things up, and I didn't question why our electric meters would occasionally record 10,000 megawatts an hour, used between closing the night and opening in the next morning. So when they're closed, they use 10,000 megawatts per hour? Jesus, that's a lot. If you don't know, just know that that's a lot of power. There were no reason to ask why a dozen staff members frequently spent the night furiously cooking food that none of the night staff ever ate. I never inquired about why there was a yellow door in the passageway under Adventureland, or why I got vertigo every time I drove by it. And no one ever questioned the firm policy of distraught families that had been separated. Get them out of sight. It breaks immersion. That seems like a reoccurring theme. Immersion. There always needs to be immersion. A little strange. That reason was always good enough for me. But the strangest thing that ever happened to me was just a couple of weeks ago. I was in the underground Disneyland sprinting my brakes by trying to forget the poopy incident I had to fix in the Alice in Wonderland ride. A costumed Mickey Mouse came into the lounge, looked at me, then sat on the opposite couch with his legs crossed. I smiled, nodded, and tried to zone out. Which is hard to do when a cartoon mouse is staring at you. And why was he still a mouse? The first thing that I do upon stepping off stage is drop my smile, let out a fart, and ease into relaxation mode. Why would someone take the first opportunity to doff a ridiculous mouse head? I stared back. He didn't move. It wasn't pleasant. I wondered if he was stuck in the damn thing, and obsessively started looking for seams in the costume. But I couldn't find any. My blood dropped a few degrees while my stomach turned over like a beached whale as I realized there were no openings in the costume. Oh my god. I mean, what the hell? Was this guy so directly onto the outfit? Was the illusion that good? Could my very dull imagination actually have conjured up the belief in magic? And why was he just staring at me? That's weird as shit even without the fused cartoon mouse skin suit. There was no getting around the fact that this effer was an odd duck who wore that like a badge of honor. Then it blinked. Ooh, jeez. I don't mean that the man inside the costume blinked. Oh, jeez, I mean that those effing giant mouse eyes rolled over me, locked onto my face, and then arthromorphic cartoon rodent blinked its damn eyes. Okay. Have you ever seen... Okay, perfect. Picture on screen right now. So if you're not looking, look right now. This right here is what Mickey Mouse looks like the Mickey Mouse costume. And that thing, or this thing right here, I'm not pointing at it, 'cause it's probably just like covering the screen. It blinked. Like, not the person inside blinked, but those eyes blinked. Jeez. I didn't read this far. I only read a little bit just to like see if there were any bad words, and obviously I'll not say any because I know that my audience doesn't like to hear that, but jeez, that's scary. We were alone in the room, and I was about ready to leave a bigger shit stain than the loose bowled boy in the Alice ride. I opted, however, to turn and run into the hallway instead. I got a sudden burst of adrenaline-fueled energy when I heard rapid-fire footsteps behind me. I tried to outrun the thing, but my football glory days are a quarter century in the past, so that didn't work out very well. I think I made it about 300 yards before my burning lungs forced me to roll into the ground and await my own untimely demise as the gloved hands of a mouse. But he didn't kill me. Through my blurred vision and desperate gasps, I was barely able to make out the very man-sized shape standing above. It was the head of security. He looked furious. Next to him was a man who looked vaguely familiar. He was tall, pale, and dressed in a gray suit with a fedora. He did not look like he'd been running at all. "Well, Sid," the head of security casually shouted, clearly less winded than I was, "how about we send you to Europe for this vacation?" I'm in Italy now. Hold on. Whenever anything happens that's strange or weird, the head of security is always there, and he's always like, "You should take a vacation. Just don't worry about it. Like, it's all fine. Nothing happened. You're crazy." Why, though? See, I love to inquire about this kind of stuff. Like, why did it happen? Like, I feel like Disney is just, there's so many questions about it that just blow my mind. It boggles my mind that, like, stuff like this happens and nobody questions it. I'm in Italy now. A few days ago, I started reading about other people who were coming out online about their Disney experiences. I stopped being able to accept the denial that I had worked so hard to maintain. I also noticed that a lot of other people on my tour had connections to Disney, despite the fact we had never met before and were not a part of a Disney-sanctioned tour. It seemed that we'd gathered together on purpose, but someone clearly didn't want us to know what the purpose might be. It was a very odd situation at best. So I did exactly what I'd been taught to do. I separated myself from the situation. That's the best way to keep things clean. I didn't show up the next day. I didn't show up for the day trip to Genoa, and in doing so, I stayed away from the bridge collapse a few days back that killed everyone else in my tour group. I'm the only one left to tell my story, and that story will end with me making it very clear that I won't be going back home. I think I'll be much safer living anonymously in Europe. Disneyland is hiding something big, and their greatest strength is making you believe that the magic isn't real. Wow, I just got goosebumps. I'll just read some of the comments because that was a lot shorter than I thought. At least you're not plagued by a crippling curiosity to open the yellow door, which is what would have killed any others. Be safe. There's always Disneyland, Paris. If I was running a giant conspiracy and wanted to wean out employees that were too curious, I would install a yellow door and tell my employees never to open it. Okay, so all the comments are just about the yellow door. See, that's like, I don't know. That's strange. It's really weird to think about. Like, it's called the happiest place on earth. It is indeed. But the happiest place on earth, just like everywhere, has its secrets. And Disney doesn't want us to find out the secrets. So it's really weird to think about. It's really weird to think, like, why? And I also like to think, what if that story is real? And what if there's... It's just kind of like, honestly, with Area 51, it's just that sense of mystery that makes it exciting. It's that sense of not knowing, and that sense of, like, because you don't know, you believe it more. Because if I told you I was an alien, you're like, no, you look human. But you can't dismiss that because it's you. Like, there's no proof. There's no proof to prove it's real, but there's also no proof to say that it's not real. So there's like a middle ground where you can't prove that it's fake. You can't prove that it's real. So it's this weird middle ground where it's just like a gray area, and you don't know if it's true and you don't know if it's fake. I think about like the head of security. Why is he just so chill about everything? And why is... Like, I wish I was informed. I wish I was the head of security, because then I would know why. And I would have all the information. That's kind of like the human thing. Humans just want to know information. And, oh, man, that's crazy. Well, I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave the video here. Not as long as I expected. I scrolled down and I was like, geez, this is long. But once you read it, it really goes pretty quick. But it's crazy to think about. You know, the unknown. Thinking about the things you don't know are what get people's attention. Because Disneyland is supposed to be the happiest place on earth, but there's so many unsolved things there, and it's so perfect it's not normal. So, with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.